They don't make them like this anymore. This is Dead Rising, an action-adventure zombie survival game released by Capcom on August 8, 2006 as a launch title for the Xbox 360. Back when launch titles actually made you want to buy the console. The game follows our handsome, hardened, and extremely nonchalant photojournalist protagonist, Frank West, as he investigates reports of rioting in the small town of
Willamette, Colorado. Population 53,594. Distinguishing characteristics? Jack shit.
Yeah. Anyways, our boy Frank is dropped off by helicopter on the roof of the Willamette Mall, where he's planned to stay for 3 days. As he investigates, he finds that these supposed rioters are eating people. He finds a group of survivors down a set of stairs, and they all seem to have their own problems. This is where we are introduced to the true antagonist of the game. Okay, not really. Though she is the one who lets the zombies into the mall. Oh yeah, these rioters are zombies, by the way, if you haven't picked that up yet. Anyways, the actual antagonist would be this guy, but we'll touch on him a little later. Long story short, the zombies break in and Frank is left confused as he's forced to flee and leave everyone behind. He joins up with survivors Brad, Jesse, and Otis as they seal themselves in sort of a break room. Using the ventilation shafts, Frank is able to travel back into the mall to gather information and photographs. And with that, the game truly begins. Dead Rising is a game that I hold very close to my heart. I used to play this game every day during the pandemic in the summertime. I love how much freedom the game gives you. Whether you want to follow the story, pretend you're in Dawn of the Dead, or just stick around, you could do it all in this game. Also, the soundtrack kicks ass. In this game, you mainly perform 5 tasks. Rescue survivors, fight psychopaths, complete story missions, take pictures, and most importantly, kill lots of zombies. All of these actions reward you with PP, which will level Frank up and give him new abilities, increased health, increased carrying capacity, and increased movement speed. The entire game is on a time limit of about 6 real hours, which is 72 hours in game. If you fail to rescue a survivor or defeat a psychopath in the time given to you, you will miss out on a lot of PP. Story missions are also timed, meaning that if you run out of time, you will fail the game and the story will not continue. I guess I'll touch on the survivors first. Rescuing survivors in this game sucks. I'd say that even for a game from 2006, the AI is extremely fucking dumb. You'll have survivors who are barely clinging to life, broken arms, missing eye and shit, and their first instinct is to rush into the biggest crowd of zombies and start throwing hands, which obviously gets them killed very quickly. There's a button used in this game that rallies all survivors to Frank's location, but I found that this rarely works. Once an NPC starts fighting a zombie, they don't stop. To get my survivors to listen, I use the targeting mode to set a marker for all my survivors to go to. This seemed to be the most effective method to get them by the zombie crowds without them being hit or grabbed. As for the psychopaths, a lot of them are pretty difficult to beat. This is until you discover the mini chainsaws. The mini chainsaws are weapons dropped by Adam the Clown after beating him. They hit extremely hard, but to balance that out, they also break very fast. To get past this, you'll need 3 stat magazines scattered throughout the mall: entertainment, criminal biography, and engineering. Once you apply these books, you have a damn near indestructible killing machine to do with as you please. It also helps that these chainsaws infinitely respawn at the location where you encounter Adam the Clown. Dead Rising creates a crazy mix of emotions throughout the game. The main story of the game is taken pretty seriously, with little levity or comedy stuck in. Everything else in the game, however, is pretty goofy. You can make Frank wear stupid outfits and do really crazy fighting moves. A lot of the psychopaths are extremely over the top and satirized, and overall, there's an element of silliness that permeates the entire game, even in serious moments. Capcom also crept in some elements of survival horror, likely influenced by their other flagship zombie series, Resident Evil. At night, all of the lights go out and the zombies become a lot more aggressive. The psychopaths are pretty disturbing, even if some are goofy as hell. Their deaths are also usually very brutal and gory, which adds to the creepiness. Overall, Dead Rising incorporates a lot of different styles, which gives it an over-the-top, yet also somewhat grounded vibe. Dead Rising is an extremely unique game that defined open-world action survival gaming back in the mid-2000s. It is a game that can appeal to a wide variety of people. Whether you want a good story, fun gameplay, great soundtrack, whatever, Dead Rising is the game for you. I've gotten through many rough times with this game. Everything about it is simply cathartic, excluding some of those damn survivors. This game is usually pretty cheap and is on every modern platform. I would absolutely recommend that you pick this game up. You're in for a great time. They don't make them like this anymore.